Alright, so if you've watched my previous video about Snapchat, chances are you're going to be knowing about this video. So today we're going to be talking about Robinhood. Okay, and I'm going to be explaining why I actually have been investing into Robinhood. I'm going to explain how much I've been buying into, the reason why I actually am bullish on this certain stock, which is Robinhood for this time around, and also explain a lot of different values and such that I actually have for this stock and why I would otherwise sell the stock if it actually comes down to it. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to explain. First of all, Robinhood at the moment, Robinhood is about $11 right now as of the time of recording. Okay, and my average right now, if I'm not mistaken, I am at about $14 on my Moomoo account. And in my other bank account, I think it's about like $16 or so. So I would like to think that it's about $14 or so. Let's just put about $14 or so. Let's just say 15. Okay, my average is at about $15 right now, and I think that Robinhood is going to be quite interesting for us to really look at. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the biggest point of them all. Okay, why I got into Robinhood is because at that point of time when I was investing into Robinhood, I realized something super duper crazy, okay, which was the amount of cash that they actually had was actually equivalent to the market cap. So effectively at that time when I was investing into Robinhood, they had a 1-to-1. Okay, that means you don't really have to care about your PE ratios, you don't have to care about all those, okay? For every $1 that you invest into Robinhood, you're basically investing $1 into the United States dollar, effectively. Because the entire company, you're not even putting a value on the company, you're not even putting the value on the reach of the company, the possible revenue of the company, nothing of that. Okay, you are effectively investing into the dollar, into the company. And I thought that was crazy. Okay, first of all, we have to talk about how Robinhood basically is a entry. Okay, it's a gateway drug for investing especially in the United States. Okay, if people were interested into investing in the US, chances are they're going to be going to Robinhood, they're going to be going to Webull, and of course, since we're talking about Webull, head down to the description box down below because Webull came to Singapore. Okay, and of course, when you're using my link down the description box below, you get free stocks. So why not use my link down in the description box down below? All right, but anyway, back to it. So yeah, the Americans, they will most likely be using Robinhood. They will be using Webull. Okay, some of them would be using the Charles Schwab. They will be using the Bank of America, whatever those are. Okay, but chances are when you're talking about a brokerage app, Robinhood and Webull are usually up there. Okay, so if that were to be the case, I would imagine that Robinhood definitely have a high turnover rate. Okay, for people like you and I who are starting out in investing, maybe we have like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. We enter via Robinhood. Okay, we invest, and after a while, let's just say we get up to about $200,000. Chances are we're going to be moving some of the money over to banks. Okay. Personally, for me, that's what I actually did. I moved a lot of my money over to the bank brokerages because I didn't want anything to get trapped in those smaller exchanges, just in case. I rather it be FDIC insured by the banks itself. I'm a lot more assured because of that. And because of that, I try to keep small amounts in like my Moomoo. Okay, I keep small amount in my Webull, and those basically started off as challenges where I actually just deposited the minimum requirement and then I just built my portfolio up from there. Okay, and chances are, people are going to be hearing about all these different names. Okay, but of course, when I talk about Robinhood, chances are the first thing that comes to your mind would be for January of 2021, I believe, for the whole GameStop saga. 2021. Yes, I was a little bit blurred out. Yeah, it was the first quarter of 2021 with the entirety of GameStop going through with the humongous increase in price. And Robinhood basically were like, oh, you know what? We cannot clear it all. We might not be able to clear it through the clearinghouse, so we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop all the buy orders for GME, AMC, BBBY, your Microvision, and that basically all the meme stocks, all of them basically got stopped on the buy order. And of course, that kind of triggered this whole entire movement against Robinhood. People were really, really angry at Robinhood. There were a lot of class action lawsuit filed against Robinhood, especially due to the fact, and because a lot of people basically lost a lot of money due to the fact that Robinhood didn't allow buy orders, but they still allowed selling orders. And people were saying that, they were going through some the whole entire Wall Street nonsense, which, as of now, I'm not sure what is the outcome of it as of now, even until now. We're just waiting for Netflix to pick up on this documentary, and effectively it's going to be the next big shot for 2021. Somehow, I'm pretty sure it's going to be happening, maybe in the next 2 years or so. I'm sure someone's going to pick up this documentary because it's definitely going to be a good one. Okay, so of course, Robinhood got a lot of backlash because of that negative media, but ultimately, I still want to look at Robinhood as a company in the smallest form possible. In terms of the net asset, which is your cash equivalents and your cash assets and such, I think that Robinhood is definitely a pretty good company when I was investing into Robinhood. Okay, afterwards, the biggest headwind for me for Robinhood at that time, okay, was the fact that people are starting to lose faith in Robinhood because they're like, oh no, if my assets were to be in Robinhood, what's going to happen? Is it going to have the same issue like the GME AMC saga again? Chances are it's like 99% not going to happen, because chances are, okay, the only reason why they did that back then was because of the clearing houses. Okay, I don't think that there's a bigger scheme behind it. But even if there were to be a bigger scheme behind it, chances are the smaller stocks or the stocks that you're actually even in will not really be affected. Okay. So I highly doubt that were to be the case. So I do think that that's all right. All right. Next up, of course, the next concern that a lot of people were having was that the cycle of investing actually went to a low. At the start of 2020, a lot of people were investing, continuously. 2020, especially during the lockdown, the pandemic cycle, a lot of people basically were stuck at home, and people were finding new ways to earn more money, and a lot of people went over to the stocks market, which is why, especially with cheap money and a lot of buying pressure into the market, people who were being introduced into the market, myself included, okay, we bought into different stocks, we bought into cheap stocks, good stocks, value stocks, whatever those stocks are, we kept on buying in, and those created a buying pressure. Of course, those buying pressure created this wonderful stock market that we are in right now. Of course, with a lot of selling pressure that came in, especially in 2021 and 2022, right now we are in somewhat of a bear market. Okay, and of course, in the bear market, in the last quarter of 2021, even Robinhood themselves came out to say that the users who are actually using Robinhood app actually went down. Okay, and I don't think it's just for Robinhood. I think it's going to be the same throughout for all the different brokerages app as well. Okay, because a lot of people are not going to be trading as vigorously anymore. Okay, you have to understand that during a bear market cycle, there are three different kind of tradings. One are people who have new money coming in. Okay, that means that if you're someone who earn a lot of money, you have a high income job, okay, and you keep on supplying money into your stocks brokerage account and you keep on buying stocks. That's how you actually keep up with the buying pressure. Next one are people who basically is like, oh, you know what, I have about $30,000 in the stocks market, and that's all I'm going to be putting it into. If it doesn't go up, it doesn't go up. If it doesn't go down, it doesn't go down. I don't really care. I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to sell. Okay, there are those kind of people, and that's not going to be helping Robinhood because they are the one that's going to be leveraging on your transaction fees. Okay, but you not doing anything, they don't really get to earn much. And of course, the next one are people basically losing a lot of money or winning a lot of money and getting out of the market completely. Okay, of course, the number of people like this are going to, well, I won't say that they are substantial, but they are definitely not negligible to a certain extent. Okay, people who basically lost all their money gambling in the market via Robinhood, or people who gain a lot of money earning money from Robinhood and getting out of the market completely via Robinhood and getting into banks. Okay, those are a subset of people, and that's going to be the third group of people, personally, for my own thoughts. So, okay, well, there's also a fourth group, I would think, is the people who are dollar cost averaging. But I think that people who are dollar cost averaging, chances are they're not really on Robinhood. I would imagine them being on like the bank apps instead. but then of course they have to pay for higher transaction fees and such. But whatever the case to be, those are the reason why Robinhood transaction volume went down completely. Okay, and that became a very, very huge headwind for me. Okay, that was actually honestly one of the times where I was strongly thinking about selling my Robinhood shares, because I think that that was a huge issue. But something that actually came up to me and something that really gave me a second thought was when one of my audience actually basically came up and DM'd me on Instagram and had this whole conversation about brokerages. Okay, because we're talking about how Coinbase, how Celsius, all the different crypto brokerages actually went through the whole entire madness with the Terra Luna, the UST, the PEGI, and such. Okay, during that period of time, we were talking about a little bit about brokerages, and we were talking about how unsafe some brokerages are and such. And we started to talk about the cycles of how people actually invest. And I think that that's going to be a very, very interesting reason why I actually treated this headwind as a little bit of a tailwind to a certain extent. Okay, when I see that the trading volume went down, okay, I see it as, because we are currently in a bear market, and people are definitely going to be a lot more cautious when they're investing. And that's to be expected. Okay, let's be honest. If we are entering a bear market, oh well, we are in a bear market. We're not even entering it. We are in the midst of a bear market right now. Okay, it's not going to be brainless to think that someone is going to be cautious when they're investing. Okay, we're not going to see huge purchasing volume of a random stock at every single second in a different account. Okay, it's not gonna be happening as often as in a bear market, in a bull market, because in a bull market, everyone knows for a fact, if I put in $1, I'm taking $3 back. Okay, it's gonna be that easy. That was the period of time where basically anything you buy, you make money. Everything you touch turns to gold, and everyone thinks that they are Midas. Okay, myself included. I thought that everything I bought went up. I thought that I was a genius for that, and afterwards, of course, the bear market humbled me greatly. But of course, I'm not losing a lot of money at the moment, thankfully. But ultimately, it really changed my perspective on trading as well. And now that I think about it, it simply means that if we have a bull market, which a bull market is bound to come over and sometime soon. Okay, right now we are in a textbook recession, and usually right after the recession, we have a little bit of recovery period, the phase of recovery. After that recovery phase, then we get back into a bull market. Usually, that's kind of how it is historically, and that's kind of what I'm actually hoping for Robinhood at the moment. Okay, because I'm pretty sure that people will not completely forget about what Robinhood actually did back in January of 2021. But I think that people who want to invest will still go back to Robinhood. Okay, people who are still caring about, I do not want to spend a single cent on transaction fees, are still going to go back to Robinhood. And of course, if you don't want to spend a single cent on transaction fees, okay, and if you're in Singapore, you cannot use Robinhood, use my link down in the description box down below, because you can use Webull. Okay, it's $0. Okay, it's basically free. Well, it's straight up free. It's free for you to trade stocks, ETF, and options. Okay, just use my link now in the description box down below. But anyway, enough with the advertisement for that. But I do think that when the bull market actually comes around, I do think that Robinhood would start to have a pickup on transaction volumes, and then we start to finally see how Robinhood can actually be a better company again. And ultimately, I do think that Robinhood is actually going through this entire business model, which I'm a big fan of, being the middleman. Okay, being the middleman, you're actually minimizing on risk, because you don't really have to care about a lot of things. Okay, of course, with the Black Swan event that actually happened on the January of 2021, that's a Black Swan event, okay? And that's one of the reasons why Robinhood have to take a lot of the risk. But if that doesn't actually happen, there's not a lot of different situations where Robinhood actually have to take the risk. Usually it's either the consumer or the people who are actually giving out the stocks. And because of that, I think that Robinhood is actually in a very, very good business model position right now. And that's one of the reasons why I still decide to stay into Robinhood. I'm not sure if I'm going to be dollar cost averaging into Robinhood either, simply because they actually had a talk about selling it over to the founder of FTX, which is Sam Bankman-Fried, which is why Robinhood basically went up in price and afterwards kind of came back down because of the bear rally and such. No one cared. But I do think that, you know, if Robinhood were to get bought over by FTX, then that's going to be a whole nother different story. I think that I would most likely get out at $0. Well, I think it's about like 0% or 1% profit or so. I don't think there's going to be much of a burn on my side. But if they do not get bought out, then, you know, we will see how that actually goes. But ultimately, me getting into Robinhood is kind of me hoping that, you know, in like 4 years, 5 years maybe, the brokerages actually starts to flourish all over again, which I think is going to be happening. It's definitely a cycle kind of thing. I think it's normal, even if we are taking historical data. If you go back to like 2006, people are definitely you know, investing a lot lesser. And then when 2008 happened, everything went to shambles. People took like a year off the entire market, and then afterwards, basically at like 2010, people basically started back with the banks asking, oh, you know, what are the stocks that you guys are interested in? And that kind of completely went crazy on and on and on. And then afterwards, at about 2018, where we are expected to have another recession, which didn't exactly happen. You know, the stocks market kind of had a small like a small bleep where basically nothing really happened. And then when 2020 happened, of course, everything just went down. Everything went down, and immediately after that, people started buying every single dip known to mankind. And of course, that's why to me, I see all this as a form of a cyclical movement. And because of that, since we're already almost at the end of the bear cycle, I would assume, or at least I hope to be. I hope that I'm right about this. We are almost at the end of the bear cycle. The bull cycle is going to be starting soon, and I think that Robinhood is going to be an interesting name for me to have in my portfolio. Like I said before, I'm not sure if a dollar cost average into Robinhood would make a lot of sense. Right now, I think $11 wouldn't really make sense for me to really dollar cost average in anymore. When it was $9, I thought it was really interesting, which is why I bought a lot of. When it was at about $9 going towards $10, I think that was when I really bought a huge. I bought the dip crazily on that because my average was about like $30 or so, and I brought it down to about 15. So clearly, you can tell how much I bought. Okay, so big fan of it. If that were to be the case, that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, basically that's all I have for Robinhood. I'm most likely gonna be doing a video. Well, the next video you're gonna probably be seeing is either gonna be Palantir or it's gonna be SoFi. I'm not sure what's it gonna be, depending on my schedule. And yeah, you know, if you're interested in either Palantir or SoFi technologies, stay tuned to my next video. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching till this far. If you enjoy my content, subscribe to my channel and just like this video. For God's sake, come on. Okay, and don't forget, head down to my description box down below and use all those interesting and useful links to get free money. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.